we will welcome Representative Andrew Farmer to the program. I've never had the honor and opportunity to talk to Representative Farmer. He had a bit of an altercation with one Justin Pearson earlier today, who seemed to lose his mind in the House of Representatives. I want to talk about this for a moment. And we have the audio for you, and we will play a game of what I like to call stop-start. That is where Chris Webber has audio. I think it's about 3.5 minutes fully. Yep. The long form audio, so 3.5 minutes of audio, and I will yell stop and start on occasion so that we can offer a little bit of commentary and act as an explainer as to what is fully going on. So, a bit of backstory. Tragically, as we talked about in the first hour of the show, Justin Pearson lost his brother to suicide on December 1st of last year. That's December 1st of 2024. We are sad to say that tragically Justin Pearson's brother committed suicide, and obviously Justin and his family, I don't know what they've been going through. I don't know how close he was with his brother. I don't question any of that. I don't question how one grieves in the aftermath of any death. We all have death that happens in our lives. At some point or another, we're going to lose a family member. At some point on this planet Earth, with very, very few exceptions, you lose someone that's near and dear to you, and you have to go through the grieving process as others do. I do not know what it is like to grieve someone who takes their own life because I've never had that in my life very closely. We have a guest that's coming up a little bit later on, a good friend of ours, Cameron Smith, who visits us on Wednesdays, who had it happen in his life, and we'll talk to him about that. I know it's rough. I would not wish it on anyone. I don't know how I would handle it. But I know at some point you have to move on with your life. At some point you have to keep living for those other loved ones that you have around you. And hopefully Representative Justin Pearson can find his way in order to do that. So absent one day, and this was the day of the vote on the Education Freedom Scholarship Act, Justin Pearson has not been back to the General Assembly this session. As he has said, he has been handling his duties and taking care of family issues and other issues related to the grieving process of losing his brother to suicide. Okay. That is spoken and received. We hear you. Everyone grieves differently. Once again, at some point, one has to get back to maybe a more regular schedule, and so Justin Pearson has now returned to the General Assembly on this March 26th. He was in committee today, and in that committee, there was a bill being discussed that was Justin Pearson's bill. And in the course of the discussion, things got heated, and mostly it was coming from Representative Justin Pearson. Let's just start. We'll play a little game of stop-start with the audio from the General Assembly earlier today. Go.
While you've been here passing bills that have not ended poverty, while you've been here passing bills that have not helped people who need Medicaid expansion, while you've been here doing the hard work of making sure that our state is not the state that it can be because you have decided.
Representative Pearson.
Reality of our situation is only to be.
Representative Pearson.
While you've been here doing that, I've been in my community.
Representative Pearson.
Meeting with young people, going to school,
Representative Pearson.
Voters. That's what I've been doing. Hard work doesn't just happen. Witness legislation that happens.
Representative Pearson.
And if you will, Chairman, just one more minute, because Chairman Farmer seems to think that he somehow.
Representative Pearson.
Seems to understand my life better than I do. You need to understand that hard work isn't just sitting there and shutting up and passing a bill. It's doing the hard work.
All right, stop the tape for just a moment. We're going to continue that diatribe that's going on there. Justin Pearson introduced House Bill 1392. The bill would, as introduced, delete the exception to the criminal offense of unlawfully carrying a firearm with intent to go armed for persons who lawfully possess a handgun or in place where a person is lawfully present and at least 21 years of age or 18 years of age with certain military service. The bill failed today in Criminal Justice Subcommittee after it was placed there a week ago. Despite having carried the bill, obviously, Representative Pearson has not been in the General Assembly for reasons I just described. Here's the deal. We all go through a grieving process, and most all of us are given a certain level of grace with regard to our grieving. But it does not give you carte blanche to completely ignore the rules of your place of business. It does not give you carte blanche to completely ignore the rules of any place of business. It does not give you the ability to run roughshod over other people, coworkers or otherwise. And that's exactly what it seems that Justin Pearson was trying to do. I am trying to be nice. And it seems to me that the members of the Judicial Subcommittee were trying, or rather Criminal Justice Subcommittee of Judiciary, that they too were trying to be nice. But sadly, their efforts were in vain. Now, I don't know of any other place of business where we are permitted to take 3 months, almost 4 months of bereavement. But one would hope that you would come back in a better emotional place. I want to hear just a little bit more of what happened earlier today in the General Assembly.
Okay. All right.
And your pain and your heartache, and it's standing in front of people who you know may not like you, standing in front of people who you know will disrespect you, people who you know will talk down to you, and saying in the honor of people like my brother, in the honor of people who have died from gun violence, in the honor of people who have died from suicide, we need to pass better laws.
Representative Pearson.
And fight for a state where everybody is able to live more freely from the pain of gun violence that me and my family are experiencing. That's what you need to think about, Chairman Paul. Come on.
All right. So you can hear, he's whipping up the crowd, and in committee, you're not supposed to react in that fashion, but he's whipping up the crowd, and he is repeatedly ignoring the chair of the committee. This is earlier today in the General Assembly. Representative Justin Pearson has been out for some time, bereaving the death of his brother, who died at his own hand, died through suicide, which is obviously a tragedy that I can't understand. And he has a bill that he presented in front of the subcommittee, Judiciary Subcommittee, and he was testifying in favor of his bill and screaming and yelling and would not calm down. And then this, at one point, this happened.
We need to do something about the gun violence epidemic. We have the power to do something about the gun violence epidemic, and we don't just have to offer some empty thoughts and prayers.
I don't think it's fair for you to come in front of this committee and lecture us on hard work and convictions and hard work for our committee. So when I understand where you're at and what you're doing and why, but at the end of the day, we've been here working.
It is a pathetic excuse for you to not answer the question of why we are doing nothing about the gun violence epidemic than to personally attack me. But let me explain to you what I have been doing, Representative, since you asked. My brother, Temperance Darnell Pearson, one of the loves of my life, passed away from gun suicide on December 1st of 2024.
So that was the exchange that led to Pearson coming after Representative Farmer, and I'll just let Representative Farmer describe the secondary exchange. He joins us to talk about this exchange from earlier today. Representative, thank you for being on the Matt Murphy Show. Good afternoon, sir.
Hey, Matt, I appreciate you having me.
Well, I mean, obviously, I feel like I clearly understood that you and everyone else in the committee. Well, let me ask it this way. I won't assume. Were you aware of where Representative Pearson had been at the time that you phrased your comment that way?
Yeah, I knew, and other members knew that he'd lost his brother. And I just want to make one thing very clear. In no way did I ever intend to go anywhere near being personal with him, his family, his late brother. I can imagine what that's like, losing a loved one, being that close. And I understand the time he took. But at the same time, he come in there into the committee. And in fact, before that, let me just preface this one. Before that, he was on the calendar that was going to get rolled to the clerk's desk. We took him off of that calendar. Leader Lamberth moved that we allow his bills to be heard because he traveled in. He hadn't been here. So he gets up there, immediately starts to demean all the members of that committee, all the Republican members. I mean, he just goes hard and says that we're not working hard enough, we're not doing what we need to do, and we need to do more. I thought, goodness, I was like, I just want to make it clear that we've been here working, and I understood why a person would take some time. He took a very long time. Everybody grieves differently. I understand that. We've had a member of the General Assembly that's lost his father here recently. We had a member that's lost his wife this year. We have a member that has got a liver transplant that is going to be here. It happened about 3 weeks, maybe going on a month ago. He's going to be here tomorrow. We've had a member that had a heart attack last week, and he's here today. So, and I understand loss. I've lost 2 aunts and a grandmother since I've been a member in the past 13 years, so I certainly understand loss. But at the end of the day, my whole point was this. Look, we are here working. We've been here working, sir. And I understand you're going through what you're going through. But we are here working as you are criticizing us for that. And I just said,
yeah, it's just no. I think everybody heard it. Everyone wants to be sensitive to his loss, but at the same time, you come into a body that you've not been to all session and start pointing fingers and accusing other members of the body of not working hard enough. It's just an odd. It's an odd flex.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, to me.
And I agree with that. I just want to protect our members that work hard. I mean, we all have families, we all make sacrifices, and just to come back and to show up one day, and all of a sudden you just start disrespecting the hard work of this General Assembly, the folks that have sacrificed so much to be here, and people understand how much sacrifice people make with their families, leaving home hours away, not having that time, never going to get it back. But we spend it here passing the laws that the people of Tennessee asked us to do. We're representing our districts, and we're working hard.
Representative Andrew Farmer with us for a few moments talking about the altercation that happened earlier today between himself and Justin Pearson. Tell me about the aftermath. Apparently, things kind of broke apart a little bit. The crowd got a little disruptive, and he approached you after the fact. Is that not the case?
Yeah, what happened was after we had voted his second bill, we voted it down. He walked across in front of where we're sitting, and I thought he was going to exit the room, but instead he took a left, come up to where the dais is where the members sit. He's not supposed to be there. He's not a member of that committee, so he walks up there, and I thought, well, he's going to confront me or either walk out the door behind me. He immediately comes up and starts yelling at me and pointing his finger in my face and just called me a SOB, you name it. He's cussing, yelling, going on. I just turned around. I just sat there. Because the last thing I was going to do is face him and make him think that I was going to be a part of any sort of physical altercation, because that certainly wasn't going to happen, period. And I just let him do what he did, and then legal members came over and others, and they had to pull him away as he's yelling and cussing at me and pointing his finger at my head.
And just to make sure, and we just played the clip, but that was the only thing that was said by you in terms of any vague reference. I don't feel like it was out of bounds at all, Representative, but I just want to make sure that there was nothing else said by you in reference to the loss of his brother.
No, absolutely not. No, I've looked back. I've looked at it twice, 2 or 3 times, and I only reference I said I made no reference to any sort of personal reference to him or his family whatsoever.
Right. You reflected on you're attacking the committee, and I understand you've been away. Yeah, no, we get it. So, and he said to you, it's my understanding, don't ever come after me and my family. I mean, in your opinion, does it stay there today? I mean, is it kind of over for you? Would you like to let it lie, or is there more to come in terms of something that might occur to him in terms of the rules of decorum of the House?
No, as far as I'm concerned, it's over. But for him, he'll take this, and he already has. He'll play it, and he'll put it on Twitter and Instagram about how I've insulted his family, and probably try to raise money off of it, and just that's his MO. And unfortunately, the side of him I saw today, I've seen it before. We've all seen it before. It's the same play. He's the victim. He made himself the victim very quickly. I think what happened when I said that to him, I think it embarrassed him, and I think the only way he knew to react. He became emotional really quick, and his way out was, unfortunately, to place blame on me for attacking his family, for him not being absent for 3 months.
And just do you think? And this is speculative, but I mean, do you think his purpose was to try to get you to engage him when he came over to you?
Absolutely, I have no doubt. There's no doubt. I'm 100% convinced that he wanted me to engage him. He wanted that. But when when I saw him walk up, I knew that I was not, no matter what happened, even if something had happened even more than what happened, I was going to do nothing. Like, I was going to allow it to happen. I was just going to sit there.
So I have someone, we have our super text line, our text line representative, and someone said, well, I heard Justin accuse y'all of not working on gun violence issues specifically. And I guess this is in reference to HB 1392. What would, y'all voted it down. What is your understanding of what 1392 was? What would it have done?
Well, and that's a good question, because he's not been here to work his legislation to let the members know what it would have done. And that's a part of it. There was another Democrat from the committee, Representative Brooks. Her bill passed today. You know why? Because she works her bills. Mm-hmm. She did. Mm-hmm. He's not been here to work his bills, to work his legislation. So that's a really good question that I would like to have an answer to, but he's not giving it to me.
Well, we just wanted your perspective on it, your take on it, Andrew, and I appreciate you giving it to us. But as far as you're concerned, this is as far as it goes. And I for one, and I think I can speak for a large portion of the listening audience, appreciate you respecting the decorum of the body as you did in the face of a lot of yelling and screaming.
Yeah, I got called about every name in the book. But heck, and it's unfortunate to see emotion take over and see a member of the Tennessee General Assembly act that way again. And this is not the first time. This is twice that this is gone overboard and out of bounds with his behavior. I'm very disappointed to see that. I thought we were past that point, but hopefully I'm going to let this go. I'm not pushing anything, asking for nothing. I just want members to act and treat this, the Tennessee General Assembly with respect and the decorum that it deserves.
And just I feel compelled to ask, but just based on, you said you reviewed what you said just to kind of make sure you galvanized it and clarified it in your mind. Do you think you owe Justin Pearson an apology at all?
It's crossed my mind, because my wife and everybody says I have a big heart. I'm a people pleaser just by nature. I think that. In a way, I feel bad. I do. I feel very, very bad and sad for his loss. But at the same time, the way he reacted, no, I don't think I owe him an apology. I don't.